Hey, what's going on, guys? And I just wanted to pretty much get on here and let you guys know that this is the part two of the video that I was talking about on the last video. So yeah, let's get into it and setting up the mic stands and mic up the kit and get everything taken care of. So let's get to it. Let me show you what's up. So, as we left off last time, I basically set up the drum kit and pretty much was getting everything taken care of that way. But as of right now, what we're going to do is mic up the 12-inch tom, the 13-inch tom, the 16-inch floor tom, the snare, and that bass drum. And hopefully with the way the overheads and everything else, placement of the cameras and stuff, that should help me out trying to get everything taken care of that way. So yeah, this is going to be some fun stuff. So basically what's going to happen is I'm going to be putting these mics on some of these stands, except for these are the cameras that I'm going to be setting up, and I'll be showing you guys what's going on with it. But yeah, I'm going to be setting up these stands. I'm going to be clipping some of these drums together, get these going. And yes, these are the CAD acoustic drum mics. I have my overheads. I do have this stuff right here on top of them, little microphone holders or casing type deals. So yeah, this stuff is basically the rest of what's going to happen with the drum kit. So let's check it out. Alright, so welcome back to this voiceover stuff, and now I'm going to be going ahead and getting all the stands and stuff taken care of. So there's the first stand for the mics, and I'm basically going to be pretty much trying to get it all set up and ready to go. I know I have another mic that nobody really knows. It's my mic I'm using right now. It's basically how I talk and connect with you guys and all that, and it's got a blue stripe, but I mainly use that for like vocals or basically any kind of like surround in a way, because I'll have it like way out of the way and pick up on additional sounds if need be. But putting up these mic stands isn't really like all that hard. It's just figuring out where you want to have them and place them and all that good stuff. And now I'm going after the second mic stand, and I'm basically going to try to get it to the same height and same levels and stuff like that. Like I was saying in the last video, I basically have been doing this drumming stuff for a long time, and now that I'm basically getting into better recordings with somewhat better equipment since way back in the day, I'm learning how to pretty much work with like frequencies and other stuff. So maybe I'll be able to show you guys in the next video on, you know, setups and how everything else goes with, you know, excuse me, with trying to figure out like, you know, placements and EQs and the volumes and all that with my soundboard. But as of right now, I'm just putting up the stands at the moment, and that one should be good. I'm doing one last minute adjusting, and I should be going over to my bass stand, well, my kick drum bass stand, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's just a simple little stand. It looks like it's like not full, but it has its purposes. So basically these stands right here, these two right here, are my overhead mics. They basically pretty much pick up the sounds of the cymbals. One goes in that far corner and another one goes right into this corner. I might have to move the drums a little bit closer to the wall on the sound proofing, but all in all, it turns out to be a really good sound, especially with, like, you know, that back corner where I have put all that space at. And I'm probably going to have to adjust this side a little bit to get it more that way and adjust the toms and get everything going. So hopefully that works out that way. But mainly back to the cymbal or mic stand. This basically is my left side, this is my right side, and that is my base stand, if anybody wanted to know what that was. I can adjust it any height I really want, but right now I'm going to leave it like that because it's going to go right in front with the bass drum right there. And just to let everybody know, I've basically been tinkering with this stuff for a few years now, and all the mic cables and stuff like that I'll show you guys here after a little while. But with the way the stands are and the way the cords and everything are, I'll have to show you. But under my, because I'm pretty much living in this room, the same room I jam in, under my bed is where all the cords are, and I don't want to bore you guys with the details, so I'll just tell you straight up. I went ahead and connected all my cords, my mic cables, to the board, the soundboard that's close to my computer, and I basically got them all tucked underneath, and got little like little cable holders, if you want to call them that, and I got them all wrapped around there so I can have certain sections that can branch off, and they basically work out that way. So I'll have to show you when I get the cables out and stuff like that. Right now they're underneath the bed, already put in there, because I don't think you guys want to see me do that process. It'll take the video too long. And basically trying to get, the rest of the stuff taken care of. So let's go ahead and get these mics on the stands. All right, so next I'm going to be pretty much grabbing the mic stand so I can put the overhead mics on. The overhead mics are little small CAD overhead mics, and they'll pretty much be going into the corners of the drums so they can pick up on the cymbals. I've basically had these drum mics for, I want to say, close to 5 years by now, and they've been doing really great for me. I know there's better dynamic mics and other kind of microphones that'll probably help better with record, but I'm pretty much using what I can. It's not really like all hardcore mic stuff that I've used in the past, because like I said, I've dealt with condenser mics and stuff like that from other people's equipment, but from right now I'm actually happy that I have all these drum mic equipment and cables and stuff like that. And later on in the video you guys are probably going to see how how many cables I'm using, and when that comes up you guys will see it, but that'll be a little bit later on. But as of right now, I'm getting the sleeves pretty much set up on the mics as well. I use those sleeves to try to not have so much of a loud impact sound, especially with the mic sleeves on there. And now I'm putting the bass drum one on there now, and that one just screws on like so, and sometimes I have to readjust that just to get it to the bass drum hole. And as soon as all that gets done, I'll be able to get it. I'm basically going to be placing them where they need to be now. So that one goes right where the thin crash and the crash ride goes. It basically picks up on that side of the kit where the thin crash ride, hi-hat, china, and the ride cymbal is. And the other mic stand, the overhead mic, that one goes into that far corner that we pretty much in the last video had made space for, in that dark corner. I know it's pretty black over there because of the soundproofing, but at least it was at least I was able to get it right there where I wanted it and needed it. And now I'm going to be going after, as soon as I get my balance, gonna grab my bass drum mic, or the kick mic, and I'm gonna place it over there. But I in hindsight I should have put it in there first, but I just wanted to get the overheads in there real quick. So a little adjusting, moving some stuff, and putting things together. Yeah, it worked out. Honestly, I do love these mics. Doing one last minute setups right there, seeing if that kick drum mic is in the hole, and I'll show you here in a second. So yeah, I know it's pretty dark right there, but basically if you guys check it out, There we go. Yeah, it's better. I basically have my kick drum bass my kick drum mic set up right here to this hole right there in the reso head side. And yeah, this is an old thing. This is the original MRS reso head. But yeah, I basically got that hole cut years ago and basically put this right there so I can get that sound. Sometimes people put their bass drum mic right inside. I like to have it right there and just let it feel the power. But maybe I'll one of these times probably throw it in there just to see how it goes. And I know in the dark, especially when it's the overhead shot with the other camera, this mic is pretty much right there. It's basically, you know, going to be hitting these cymbals right up in here. That one catches all these, the one with the better cushion thing for it, the mic sleeve. Yeah, it picks up that, and these pick up, that mic picks up all this stuff, so that works out. Alrighty, so the next step is to pretty much mic up the drums, if so to speak. Since the bass drum has its kick mic, so to speak, pretty much going through the mics right now and seeing which one is which. I have them marked for their specific place, just like the mic cables, and basically I'm going to be getting the first round going. So here comes the snare. Betty the snare is getting the mic treatment. I'm going to have to move that floor tom out of the way so you guys can see what I'm doing, even though it's not that close up, but I'll give you a close-up shot here in a minute. But yeah, those are just standard clip-on type drum mics, the CAD drum mics, or CAD, or however you want to call them. I always call them CADs. But basically I always have my snare mic pretty much on the top of Betty, as you can see right there as I'm touching it. Probably couldn't see it because I'm wearing black gloves and on a black kit, but it works out. I basically have it set up there. I kind of got inspired by other drummers that did that, like Lars and Shannon and all them. But since the drums are pretty much set up the way I like them, I'm setting up the mics a certain way. And now I'm putting the looks like the floor tom, and I'm trying to check out where that little muffler thing that I have on there. And those actually come in clutch, especially since Rezo went, the O-rings and all this, that, and the other. They actually help out with not muting it per se, but it helps out with the tone, so it's not so ringy. But sometimes I get a basketball sound, but that's also because they're old drums, and sometimes, like I said in the last video, you take care of your drums, the drums will take care of you, and sometimes they need a little bit of a helping hand. But now that that's on there, I should be going over to my first rack tom. Yep, I just pointed to it. Again, it's like racing and wrestling, but it's not really like that. I'm putting that first rack tom mic on, and it should be clipping on there pretty good, yeah. And then now we got the second one, and it goes onto that 13-inch as I'm pointing right there. And it should just clip right on there. I can tighten them all down. They all basically do the same thing. It's just I had to basically mark the three that are on the toms, the rack tom 1, rack tom 2, and the floor tom. So basically what I got going on here is I got my snare drum right here. I got my rack tom 1 mic right there, rack tom 2 mic, and my floor tom right there. So those 4 mics pretty much go on the basically the standard part of the kit, which is the drums pretty much. So yay, next on is going to be setting up the cables. Yeah, I was not joking about my cables, because I literally have them coming out of the basement there, or not the basement, the bed right there. So yeah, they're coming out straight out of here. I got all these cable separators and stuff like that all on there. So I'll get these out and we'll start micing up the kit. Alright, so the next go around is the cables. And yeah, I basically tore down the kit so I can do these types of videos, I basically was trying to make sure that, you know, they stayed in a certain spot so they didn't get all tangled and stuff. But we all know how cables and cords and stuff like that they get tangled, and I gotta readjust them and flip them out and turn them out and all this, that, and the other. But I'm basically looking at got them split off into like two little sections. Like they come straight out of the bottom of my bed and then branch off into two areas. One goes to the left side. Well, one set of cables go to the left side. The other side, it goes to the right side. And trying to keep them separated is pretty hard. You know, you got to keep them separated. But at the same time, it's not really all hard to try to detangle at times. But when these cables get tangled up, it gets a little frustrating, and you trip over them, and you didn't mean to, and things get out of whack. So always be careful and be aware of where you're placing your cables and stuff, so you don't damage them or you don't puncture them with you know, any kind of like damage that can go to them. I know I had them underneath the bed and stuff, and people would probably be like, why didn't you put them in a container? Well, that's the thing. I do have a container. I have a when I go out and did shows and stuff like that, I didn't really have like cases and stuff for my drums, but now I do have you know, little cases here and there that'll help out with you know, drum stands and mic stands, and I got a little box that has all my electronic equipment stuff in there. It's like an industrial box. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm still separating the stuff, but I'm getting them to where they need to be, and I'm also making sure that, even though I'm not in the shot no more, I'm basically trying to get the cables and everything to, you know, do what I want them to do. I have little cable holders and stuff like that, so my cables and stuff are not all over the place. Like I said, I got them coming straight out of the bed, and I'm basically trying to position all my stuff and try to also see which one goes where. I have my mic cables actually labeled, if that makes sense. Basically took some duct tape, took it towards the inside, well, not the inside, but the very end of the mic cables where they actually connect into the mic, and I basically try to keep them separated and not try to, you know, use the wrong cable on the wrong mic. So I believe I am starting to position some stuff, as it looks like. I got one in my hand right now, it looks like, and it looks like I'm trying to put it on to the rack tom. Now, during the process of trying to put mics on there, especially during a show, like I always seen sound guys always have a struggle to try to find a good spot to put the drum mics. So if you ever have like an issue, you can always tell the sound guy during the show, like, hey, this is how my drum set looks like. Always talk to your sound guy, unless he becomes, you know, I can't really say what I want to say, but if the dude is not wanting to listen to you, then make adjustments on the fly, because sometimes they don't want to listen. But if you end up with a good sound guy, just talk to him a bit. Be all like, well, I usually have my mic set up on this side, or I've seen some other people do it on this side, and work something out. I mean, there's nothing bad than trying to talk to somebody about your sound and trying to get a better sound. Because I've worked with some sound guys in the past on some shows, and they made the shows that I was playing at a lot better. Some of them actually told me they had to kill the mics because I was playing way too loud. But just like how like Lars, Art, Cruz, and everybody else, they play with passion, they play with ferocity, they play with primal type deals when they're just feeling it and getting into the grooves. But with me, I'm always enjoying, you know, playing the song, giving it my all, and trying to make sure that, you know, everything sounds good. And if it sounds off, I'll immediately like notice, just like anybody on like guitar or bass, or if they're doing vocals. Now I'm looking at the other set of cables, trying to make sure I got all the right ones there, and also realized that one of them was not supposed to be over there, so I pulled that one out, and now it's going over here to where it needs to be. And I believe it's the overhead for that side on the right side. Yeah, it is. Now, when you're looking at the drum kit, it does look like, so many cables. How is it going to just sit there and pretty much not be in the way? Sometimes the cables do get in the way. I will admit that. But after a while, you start to realize where the cables are at. Like I said, be aware of where the cables are at so you don't trip over stuff. And if you can, I know I'm in the wolf's den. I know I called it the room, but I'm still pretty much in the wolf's den, and I'm trying to make sure that, I'm not stepping on cords and stuff like that in the middle of the night, because my bed is literally like right there, y'all. But it's still okay, because, I get up in the middle of the night, and if I feel that there's a cord under my foot, I just go over it. Like I said, I'm trying not to damage my stuff, but also try to keep it to where I have everything ready to go whenever I'm ready to, drum it out and make a new drum content video. And I know I didn't really speak much about my drumming career on the last video, but, well, I talked a little bit, but not a lot. But hopefully with all this stuff as well, I'm not a sound guy, but I'm learning. I'm learning how to pretty much get, better quality sound, and learning about better tuning and trying to make everything work out the way that it needs to work out with. So right now I believe I'm setting up the rack tom 1, and putting all the other cables there, because I'm working on that left side cables now. And hopefully I should be going after Betty's mic as well. I'm going after every single mic on here, but as long as everything is pretty much steady and good, basically going over for that overhead mic as well. Sometimes the cables do kind of get in the way, and sometimes they like to get onto my first hi-hat stand right on that pedal, and it kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. But after a while, once you get them set up in a certain way, they shouldn't get in the way. And it's always good to adjust and try to make sure everything's taken care of that way. And I always say taken care of, because you literally got to take care of your equipment, regardless if it's sound equipment, drum equipment. And I do have a couple guitars over here. One's an acoustic and another one's an electric, but sooner or later I'll probably have to bust those out and probably try to do some riffs. I don't know about that much about guitar, but at least I'm trying my best on it. And at least trying to make sure that I'm not like doing anything that's going to damage my drums or damage my mics or cables, especially when you got like kids running around or you're doing stuff. Sooner or later I'm going to have to start trying to record my own music, and that's honestly what I've always wanted to do. And in my drumming career, I've only recorded like 2 albums and a bunch of demos. But that was in the past. This is now the future. I learned a lot from my past. I'll just tell you that right now. Right now I'm trying to go over and trying to make sure that the cables are not all over the stand, so they don't get tangled up or twisted in there, and pretty much like get hit by a cymbal and the cymbal gets muted or something. You know what I mean? But all in all, I am happy with what I was able to get at the time, and I'm still surprised that these mic cables and the drum mics and the overhead mics and even the kick drum mic, I'm honestly happy with how each mic has its own purpose and how it picks up on certain sounds and tones. And I'm honestly grateful for that, because without any of that, you guys would probably be hearing like, the old videos, the swooshy cymbals, and it's so loud it just kills the speakers. And that's basically why I got the drum mics, because I wanted to focus on actually working with tones, working with different sounds, and trying to make everything work. And right now I'm trying to get the cables underneath the stands, and that should be good. So yeah, as long as we get the go ahead. Oh, we're good. So as you can tell, I basically put the cables and stuff the best way I can. For right now, some of them are still a little loose, but little bit of adjusting never hurt anybody. I'm going to be basically trying to fix up if you want to look, the wires over here by the hi-hat. You see how they're basically kind of in the way right there, basically right here. If I can angle these cables right here, need to come down a little bit, bring it down, do this little number, get that out of the way. That's my little notebook so I can plan out and stuff if you guys ever wanted to know, and basically have it like that. So all in all, we're basically set up with the mics. Now let's go to the cameras. All right, so next we're going to be setting up the camera stands. The cameras are already installed on there, as you can see. I got 2 of them right here, and I'm going to go ahead and set up the taller one. That one is actually my saving grace for that. I said indirect later on in the video, but it's a direct line so you guys can see what I'm hitting on the front side. It'd be a little different if I was able to, you know, set up a different way, but with how I got the drum set up right now, it just works, and that's all that I'm asking for. I'm not trying to be over the top with my cameras, even though I would love to try to learn different editing skills and different angles in the mics, or well, yeah, you got to have different angles for the mics and everything else, because sometimes different angles help out with different sounds and makes things sound a little bit better. But with the cameras, on the other hand, see, I'm adjusting it and I'm trying to make sure that everything is good. But with the cameras, especially the one that goes into that back corner on the left, where we in the last video we basically had the space that we made for it, is basically going to be doing a front view. And I try to make sure that, you know, there's a good enough distance to where everybody can see that I'm hitting the snare and hitting the toms and seeing where my arms are going, because I know I do that triple video look in my recent drum videos, and in my live streams I'm going to be doing that as well when I get back to it, because that's in the works. That is in the cards to try to get back on live streaming. And sometimes having those stands, I can't really have them out like the actual like simple stands, but the camera stand and tripod, however you want to call it, it actually is not fully out with its legs, like not spreading them and all that. There I go with the second one. And basically that's going to be my far away camera right there. But the main reason why I got 3 cameras is because I was initially just going to like record all at the same time, sync them up like every other YouTube drummer or whatever, and I was going to try to like splice and do all this, that, and the other. Then I realized, because I remember hearing one drummer, he kept saying that sometimes when you see an edited video, like, you know, with like cutouts and stuff like that, it makes the drum video feel like it's, you know, fake and they're not really playing it. So I took the idea of like, well, guess what? I'll go ahead and just have it all 3 cameras on one screen. And certain tools on the computer help me out with that, like Streamlabs and other places like that. And now that I got that set up, I'm going to try to find a spot for it, because certain locations are a little difficult to put on, but all I'm trying to do is make sure that that's over there and that's over where it needs to be. I'm putting it over there right now. But yeah, just hearing that drummer literally say like, oh, well, anybody that edits videos like that and they're not having one shot is like fake. Well, I'll tell you straight up, I've seen a lot of good drummers that actually pull off their skills and stuff like that. And there's been some good edited videos, but I wanted to be straightforward with you guys and show you in as many angles as I can. And sooner or later, I'll probably get myself a foot cam. Alright, so we basically got the cameras set in position in certain spots, so let's check that out real quick. Over here, we got the A camera, basically on the side and all that. It's this type of camera, if anybody wants to see. And then the other camera, the one that does the indirect thing, is right here. Again, I might have to adjust, especially with the cords and stuff, but hopefully something does work out that way. All I gotta do basically is get the cables that run from the computer into it, and it's basically the same layout as you saw probably in the tutorial part where I was speaking a little too much probably. Go Wolf. And yeah, I basically throw those little cords on there and those cameras are up and ready to go. And just to let everybody know also, if you guys are wondering about those overhead shots, I got a same type of camera as the other two, basically right here. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that going. Alrighty, so now I'm putting on my cables that go to the computer straight to the cameras. I don't really do the whole record from one camera and do a different angles or have multiple things and splice. I've already explained why I don't do that, but at the same time, I do like to have that feel of, if you like a certain view, you can check it out right then and there. Right now I'm using the overhead view from the third camera that's pretty much on my curtains, so to speak. And I'm basically setting up the cables and trying to make sure everything's good. Sometimes those stands like to fall over. And like I said, if you accidentally kick a cable or kick certain things and it just knocks things out of whack, it'll happen. So you just got to adjust and be aware, like I said previously. I am glad that I do have 3 20-foot cables that actually help out. And there, yeah, see, there it goes right there. All I got to do is just readjust and get things going. Sometimes it gets frustrating, but I'm actually happy that I do have these 3 cameras. And like I said earlier, maybe sooner or later I'll get like a GoPro camera or probably something down the line that'll help out with the foot cam and probably some better lighting. And now we got the go ahead that's set up good, so we're going to work on the other one. Even though I do have that camera kind of offset onto the side there, but I went ahead and tried to bring it a little closer. But all in all, I'm just grabbing that cable that was on the floor, Tom, and it should be going right into that camera. I know my back is pretty much blocking the shot, but all in all, I keep saying all in all, I'm just happy that I got these cameras and pretty much doing my best with them. Now I know it's off camera right there, but I'm actually positioning it where it usually goes when I do recordings, and I'm going to have to do a little adjusting here and there just to, get it into the right spot, especially camera angles and trying to make sure the stand's not falling over like that one did earlier, and also making sure that the cables are pretty much like, not so tight but not so loose, and just right, and try to make sure everything is taken care of that way, because if I pretty much, money is tight, so it's going to be a little difficult to try to find a new one, even though things aren't cheap. We got the go ahead, hell yeah. So all in all, we got the cameras all set up, we got basically the cables in there with the mics, and all in all is basically going to be doing a sound check. But right now I don't think a sound check is going to be happening in this video, maybe on the next one. So look out for another video, but this time it's not going to be part 1 or part 2. It's going to be its own separate video connecting sound checking and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about the voiceover and the way I'm trying to do things now, especially when I'm trying to explain something. And I know I ramble on my last video with some things, but it was my first time ever doing it, and I was just having fun with it, so let's go with that. But all in all, I am extremely happy with how my drums and everything has turned out for me, and I'm also happy with the gear and stuff like that. And when I get to the sound check, and I'll show you guys my soundboard and try to show you guys my little setup on when I record and what goes on with it, and hell, maybe I'll get back into live streaming. How about that? But this is Wolf, aka Death Fang, signing out, and I hope you guys have a good one. I hope you guys stay true to yourselves, and also be careful out there and love one another. And I'll catch you in the next video. Laters.